Y'all come and sit down and shut the door. I got some exclusive tea and we got to talk about it. Y'all, we got to talk about the raids on Diddy's house, right? We got to talk about what's really going on in New York State. And we got to talk about how we all piece it together. Okay, you guys, if you don't, let me start from the top. Okay, I just did a live. Go ahead and check it out, especially if you like long form stuff. We talk about the real story between Cassie, Alex, and Diddy, how they all came to know each other. We talk about all this, but one of the things, and that dumb picture he put up with him and Kim Porter tomorrow, I miss you, boo. Her dementor, her tormentor, the person that kept her in tears for her whole life at this time in this economy wants to post a tribute to her. You better go sit down somewhere. But y'all, we got to talk about also people close to Diddy say that he's in a really, really bad place. They are saying that he might be close to because, again, based upon information and belief, allegedly, he's not taking this well. He's now seeing that his house of cards is falling down. Maybe he thought his money, his access, his money, access, all this stuff would protect him. There are reports that his fairy godfather slash sugar daddy, Ron Burgundy, like Ron Burkle, is even distancing himself from him because, and I was like, why is all this stuff happening now when I would have thought they would have distanced themselves earlier? Y'all, people are saying that the reason this is happening now is because things just got real. Diddy, and this is an exclusive and ain't no maybe, based upon information and belief, allegedly, is under criminal investigation. Now, I know what y'all saying. What are you talking about with the New York State? I'm going to give up the tapes. Hold on. Let me pull this up so I can bring y'all some receipts. Now, I know what y'all saying. What are you talking about, Tisa? Of course, Diddy's houses were raided. I think there was a report through Tough News that Diddy's house was raided. But here's the thing, y'all. This is a new layer to stuff. Diddy doesn't own a house in New York State. Y'all know that, right? He has Star Island. He had a huge compound. Then he bought Gloria Estefan's estate, which was next door to his, for $35 million. Okay. And he planned to build a huge compound. I don't know how that's going to happen after Cassie ran his pockets up, but he built that huge compound or plan to. He has a home in LA that Kim Porter lived at, but if I'm not mistaken, he just sold that home. Okay. But if he didn't, he's had that home. Diddy sold the only property he owned in New York City. I believe it sold in 2018. It sold for about $6 million. He had, and I believe he had a place in the Hamptons, which he also sold. He has not purchased any other property. So if Diddy's home or place of residence was raided, it was in Miami. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Let me just say this before I get into what's going on in New York, because baby, this ain't no maybe. Information based on information and belief. Okay. And I even know the unit that's investigating them. Okay. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Let me just say this before I get into what's going on in New York, because baby, this ain't no maybe. Information based on information and belief. Okay. And I even know the unit that's investigating them. Okay. So, in Star Island, let me just say this. I don't know if Diddy's house in Florida, Star Island, Miami, it's one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious neighborhood in Florida, was raided, because when it's raided, baby, there's no way a raid happened on Star Island without people knowing. It just doesn't happen. And the feds like to announce raids. Now and again, I don't know everything. Maybe there are secret raids. Forget all that. Let's see what's happening in the state of New York, okay? He does not own property in New York. He does not have rental property or a long-term lease. Diddy has been spending, which is why Diddy has been spending a lot of his time in London, in Miami, where he lives, and in California. Again, that Kim Porter property, if it hasn't sold, it was put on the market. He has no address in New York. As a matter of fact, when they come to New York, they stay in hotels. So even if whatever's going with the raids, it could not happen in New York State. Okay. Now, y'all ready for the Y'all ready for the percolator? Okay, fine. Let's get into this. Diddy, and this information is based upon information and belief, allegedly, because Diddy says he's innocent, this and that. He is under criminal investigation. Now, first thing that we know, New York City, let me just pull her up, make sure I get all these names right, because I know you guys want to know. New York City the Attorney General of New York State, Letitia Ann James, okay? The woman who took down Trump, the woman that took down many people, has officially opened a criminal investigation into Diddy. On top of that, Alvin Bragg, Manhattan District Attorney, right, has officially opened an investigation into Diddy. The federal government and New York State and New York City have officially been contacting survivors. Remember when I told you guys that that legislation had opened a survivors fund and survivors weren't registered? They have officially started contacting survivors. They have started asking for information. They have started officially interviewing people. Remember that article that popped up in TMZ the day that Diddy settled, where they were like, oh my God, people are saying that Diddy is under a secret criminal investigation. They say that there is SA components involved, but there's other components involved. And then remember, oddly enough, an hour later, TMZ came out and said, whoops, we don't know what we're talking about. As a matter of fact, let me pull that article up. I found the article for you, okay? It says Diddy is subject to a secret NYPD investigation. And although it's unclear if Cassie made the criminal complaint, there's strong evidence as it involves SA. Law enforcement told TMZ, and you know TMZ usually has legit sources within law enforcement. There's an open case at NYPD with the name Sean Combs. We're told it's an active case, but the case has been locked, essentially meaning it's a sensitive case where access is restricted. They came back. They reported this early in the morning and came back an hour later saying, the next morning. Yesterday, a member of NYPD's Public Information Office erroneously told a reporter about an apparent existence of an active case file containing the name Sean Combs. There is no such investigation at present. Further, the release of such information is not consistent with the internal policies of the Office of the Deputy Commissioner of Public Information. Now, the thing I thought about that is, how did the original TMZ article, I didn't read the whole article, have so much information, only for them to come back and be like, whoops, what are you talking about? That never happened. Well, how does that jive? There is an investigation going on. It's happening with the New York State. It's happening with New York City. And it's happening with the same people that took down, and I quote, El Chapo, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, his buddy. That's right. Oh, it's not over. Let me get this mess out because I want y'all to know this. And this is based upon information and belief. You guys, hold on. So let's actually read this thing. This is why Diddy is in the dumps. This is why Diddy's so sad. This is why Diddy hired a criminal lawyer to defend him. The investigation efforts in this case were coordinated with the Department of Justice Special Operations Division, comprising of agents, analysts, and attorneys from the criminal division. You guys, they're also working with the FBI New York field office, the FBI Miami field office, the FBI Los Angeles. I'm sorry, California. I'm like Los Angeles, California field office. Again, these are the same people that brought down El Chapo, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Jazane. You guys, this is why all the high powered people are. Remember, I was on live last night and I got some info. You guys, this is why all the high powered people are abandoning him. This is why he's feeling completely isolated. This is how the house of cards is falling down. Again, let's go back to that TMZ article because hindsight's always hindsight. Look at the way they issued the denial. Because I was like, there's no way that TMZ got that wrong. There's just too much detail for them to completely get wrong unless their source screwed them over. But listen to what they actually said. There's no such investigation, comma, at present, right? Let's also not forget that I believe all the accusers have made criminal complaints and referred them to the DA and referred them to AG. There's no such investigation, comma, at present. Further, the release of such information is not consistent with the internal policies of the Deputy Commissioner Public Information. It's not consistent with the internal policies. That doesn't mean that the release of the information was wrong. They literally bogged us down with a word salad. You guys, Diddy, this is worse than anything R. Kelly faced because R. Kelly stuff took years and years and years to actually make. Diddy is about to get criminal charges dropped on him. He is currently under an active criminal investigation by the New York State AG, the New York City District Attorney, and also the federal and also the feds. This is a coordinated effort. Again, a coordinated effort that will include different bureaus from different states, along with analysts. Let me just get this out. Along with it is the Department of Justice Special Operations Division, compromising agents, analysts, and attorneys from the criminal division, spanning FBI, FBI, New York field office, Miami field office, and California field office. You guys, does this not make sense? And again, this is not related to any raids that, first of all, no raids happen in New York City because Diddy does not have a New York home address in New York City. He stays in hotels when he's in. He has sold the property. I'll put the receipts on the screen if it makes you guys feel better. You guys, is this why Diddy feels, again, closed in, isolated? Is this why all his friends are worried that something is going to happen to him? Because he is afraid, right? Because he is afraid of what's coming down the line, because he knows that his house of cards is about to fall. Up until this point, he thought his money, his access, and his rich friends could feed him, keep him out of things. But now they're ready to feed him to the dogs because Diddy's money, access, and time no longer, right? They no longer protect him, and he has the block hot. Nobody wants to do it, okay? Nobody, sorry guys, I just got another text. Nobody wants to deal with it. Okay. So what is this? What's going on? Here's the real question insiders are asking. One, they want to keep an eye on Diddy because he's in a, like, at the point he thought it would go out. And everybody kept wondering, when's it going to click that this is more serious? So let's not forget that Weinstein was going to get away with what he did with the women. It wasn't until the federal government actually stepped in and criminal charges came that all of a sudden he wasn't even powerful enough. Your friends might have money, but baby, the U.S. Attorney's Office does not play that. The Southern District, the Eastern District, you saw what Letitia James did to Trump, okay? They just don't play with that stuff. Money and power only go so far. And now that everybody is kind of like, ooh, the block is hot, because let's not forget Ron Burkle has his own problems. This person has his own problems. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my own lives, right? Did he sugar daddy? Allegedly, allegedly. If he had a sugar daddy, Ron Burkle would be the one we would look at. So here's another thing that people close to Diddy are asking. So what's the next steps? What are the next steps? Because now that this house of cards are falling, people are saying Diddy should be very, very angry that a lot of people partook, but he's the only one going down. He can't really mess with his billionaire friends. So who else in the industry is he going to take down with them? This is now an official criminal complaint. What investigation? What's the one based upon information and belief? Okay. This is open. They have contacted survivors. They are contacting all survivors. They're interviewing. Survivors have made statements. People have turned in even their devices, communications. This is the real deal. It is going down. I wouldn't be surprised, even though Cassie did sign an NDA a day before the new law over NDAs took over. That's one of the reasons why Diddy settled so quick. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cassie has already not given her statement and fully cooperated, which when you think about it, it's pretty ironic that Cassie destroyed his bank accounts, his reputation, and now Cassie is going to put that monster, her part of her testimony, statements that she gave, the things will put him away whenever. I wouldn't be surprised if Cassie has not already given statement or is not cooperating. So let's think about it. Now that everybody knows that this criminal thing is going down, right? And everybody's being questioned. I'm sure Justin, Christian, and Quincy, because they were around him a lot, will also be questioned. Okay. Now the only question is who's he going to give up? Because if we know anything about the feds, they're always going for a big fish. Always. And the bigger the fish, they'll let the little underlings go. Would it not, in order, make sense that in order for him to keep his freedom, Diddy is literally going to start giving up other producers, other people in the music industry, other things he saw, other people that were in that room? Who else was in that room? Who else knew? The thing is, my sources have been talking, and I don't want to get sued, but the people that were in that room will surprise you. Supermodels, men of God, men of state, men of power, the wives of men of power. A lot of people were in those rooms, and a lot of people literally enjoyed those violence delights that seem like they're going to have violent ends. You guys, pay close attention to this. I'm doing everything I can. You know how it is. This is an active investigation. This is not a joke. Diddy is going to have some criminal charges. I don't see how they wouldn't unless they investigate and find no evidence. But New York State, New York City, and the federal government, the same people that took the same division, the same criminal investigation division that took down El Chapo, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, are now on Diddy's case. They have contacted survivors. They are actively interviewing them, and they are gathering all the evidence. Again, there are reports that Diddy's house was raided. I don't know what part of America that happened in, right? We are talking about New York State. Diddy is cooked, and this explains why everybody says that he is so isolated and so whatever that they genuinely are worried for him. Let's not forget, Harvey Weinstein thought he could beat it. It wasn't until the criminal charges got pressed and he was sitting in court that things got real. Things just got real for Diddy. The only question is, who will he give up in order to maintain some form of freedom? But at this point, the federal government is said to have so much evidence already. It might just be another R. Kelly situation. Well, they'll snatch him and then they'll continue their investigation and everybody else. You guys, this is an exclusive. Let me know what you think. I'm going to drop one more video tonight. I think it'll be good. It's going to have to do with showstopper. Showstopper. I'll see if you guys can figure that out. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.